Teresa of Avila's heart belonged fully to God. And today, October 15, we celebrate her feast day. I'm so happy you're here, and I can't wait to share with you about this influential woman. You've probably heard of her most famous book, The Interior Castle, which we'll get to in detail in a moment. But first, you should know how unlikely it was that Teresa would become a candidate for sainthood. She was born in 1515 during the height of the Inquisition in Spain. Her grandparents were Jewish, forced to convert to Christianity. So her family history, as well as the fact that she was a woman, started her out at a disadvantage in life. But Teresa is full of surprises. She was one of those totally compelling souls. Gorgeous, voluptuous, sultry, luxurious dark hair and mysterious black eyes. She was a musician, a poet, a dancer, and a theologian. Teresa's prolific writing earned her the distinction of becoming the first ever female doctor of the Church, which is a designation reserved for those who make significant contributions to the development of Catholic theology. Teresa was such a passionate person. Ever since she was a child, she was drawn to, opposite directions. She wanted both a life of strict simplicity and solitude, but also a life of boisterous fun and community. And when she was little, while her friends played house with their dolls, Teresa pretended that she was a nun, building hermitages of stone in the orchard behind her parents' house. Now, tragically, when Teresa was 13, her beloved mother passed away. This loss broke Teresa's heart. Her happy childhood was over too quickly, and she spun out of control. Her spiritual inclinations faded into a kind of teenage rebellion. Teresa became addicted to romance novels and going out at night, and her father, who adored her, was terrified of what might happen to his daughter. So he sent her to a monastery for a summer. And though it had not been his intention, nor Teresa's, she found that her time in the monastery ignited a desire in her to serve God, to devote herself fully to a higher purpose. And the moment that she fully surrendered to this desire and she turned her attention inward, everything stopped. And she found an intimate friendship with God. And Teresa discovered that God had always been there in her heart, waiting for her yes. It's amazing how effortlessly you can slip into the presence of the beloved just as soon as you stop trying and you show up for yourself in earnest. Rather than getting caught up in political issues and power plays, Teresa of Avila calls us back to prayer. She calls us to stillness. Here's what's true, my friend. We can't have order in the world until we have order within ourselves. If you're trying to fix things on the outside, but your inner life is a wreck, then your efforts to do good will be twisted and they'll end up exploiting circumstances for your own gain, subconsciously, of course. We never mean to do harm to others, but in our ignorance, we do. And the person that you're hurting the most is yourself. Listen, when you enter into deep prayer, like Teresa, grace explodes in your heart and it begins to take over your interior life. Now, this isn't without pain. It's not automatic. But what happens when you surrender to the love that lives at the core of who you are is that it transforms you. It doesn't take away your problems. It transforms your perspective. you start to recognize your own problems as opportunities to encounter love. God is not a lofty intellectual idea. It is the experience of being alive. And Teresa of Avila's message has the same impact and relevance today as it did in her time. All of the turmoil going on in her time and all of the craziness in our time are so similar. And it's not about escaping the world around you and pursuing interior forms of enlightenment. Not at all. It's about getting our interior house in order so that the light of God's love can shine through us and shine into the darkness so that the world might know that the darkness does not overcome the light. There is hope. Perhaps the most memorable image in Teresa's book, The Interior Castle, is an image that was inspired by her very own prayer life, and I'd like to share that with you today because it's so beautiful and relevant. Okay, imagine this. There's a beautiful crystal shining in the darkness, bright, luminous. Its splendor draws us in. And as we come closer, we realize that this beautiful crystal is actually a castle with all kinds of rooms, chambers, and stairwells. In the very center of this luminous castle is a chamber that's filled with light. And that light shines through the whole crystal, penetrating all the walls and ceilings and floors, and it shines out into the darkness and beyond. And as we draw closer to this light, as we proceed through the different dwelling places of the castle, that light becomes brighter and brighter and brighter, not only because we're closer to the light, but somehow the light is in relationship with us. The light is able to shine brighter than before because of our own proximity to its center. So Teresa is seeing this image in her prayer, and as she's observing this marvelous phenomena, she is also seeing something else, something terribly dark. Just as when we come closer to the castle, the light shines brighter, as you move away outside the castle, you become vulnerable to creatures, reptiles that bite, poison, and kill. And if we get bitten, not only are we outside of the castle and sick, but the whole crystal becomes dark. The light drains from the crystal, but the light doesn't simply go out. It becomes like a black hole, devouring the surroundings. It's darker than dark. It's sucking the light out of everything in its path. Teresa realizes with this vision that there is this incredible drama happening, and this drama is inside us. The crystal is inside you. God's light lives in you. And when you draw closer, that shining beacon ignites and you free yourself from fear. You become a kinder, more loving person. And your inner light not only benefits you, but it shines more brightly through you, and it bathes everyone around you in light. And best of all, in witnessing that light in you, your friends and your family and your acquaintances are all attracted to the light within themselves. And so it magnifies. But likewise, if you succumb to ignorance and indifference, you live in darkness. The light goes out from your heart. And not only that, you end up becoming like a black hole, passing your pain on to others. This is the cosmic battle of light and dark within us. My friend, the deepest truth of the human person is the beauty of the soul. How amazing is it that the great mystery, the light of the universe, God, has chosen to make its home in the center of the human soul. It means that your existential purpose in this life is to shine the light. And the closer you are to the light in your soul, the more captivating and dynamic you become for the world. You are powerful beyond measure. So get out of your own way and make God known in the world through love. I want to share with you a prayer by Teresa of Avila. You might not have heard this one. It's my absolute favorite, and it totally resonates with what I'm sharing with you today about spreading the light of love. But first, if you want to learn more about Teresa of Avila or any of the mystics, check out our membership program at wisdomofthemystics.com. Wisdomofthemystics.com. Okay, here's the prayer. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands through which he blesses all the world. Yours are the hands. Yours are the feet. Yours are the eyes. You are his body. Christ has no body on earth now, but yours. Amen.